presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Beauty Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Only YouTube today. Our internet in the house has been down since last night. Joy. So I'm single source, so I don't have my tablet to be able to go live from Facebook or to read comments. So I'm going to do my best to read comments on the phone as we go live. So please be patient with me here. So we are again single source today, single feed. I did post this link on Facebook so people could normally are looking for it on Facebook will find it and can join us here. So I also don't have access to the internet, so I can't look at box scores and things like that to go back and look at everything from last night, but I'll do the best I can from memory. So LSU drops game one against Arkansas last night, and it is that is a really disappointing loss because your mistakes opened the door for all 5 Arkansas runs. They beat you 5-4. First inning grounder to Jacob Berry, errant throw, that run would score. The next 2 runs that came home, you would battle back to take a lead. They would get a second run to go up 2-0 actually, and that was Mikhail Hilliard walked a couple of guys, but looked like he was going to be able to get out of it. And he had first and second with 2 outs. Hayden Travinsky gets crossed up, can't catch the ball. So runners go to second and third. They intentionally walk the hitter to get a righty-righty matchup. And then Hilliard walked in the run. I mean, obviously, if Travinsky catches the ball, you're never intentionally walking the batter when you're ahead of him in the count. But really rough night for Jordan Thompson. Arkansas's rally to retake the lead after LSU was ahead 3-2. LSU had a ball shaded perfectly. The hitter shaded perfectly. Thompson was right behind the bag at second. Kind of had a range to his left a little, but a play with a force at second or the play at first, it just got to be made. Couldn't make it. Had an opportunity to turn a double play to end the inning. Couldn't make the play. Play behind home. And Thompson's throw is, he would have had the runner by 10 feet. It's 10 feet up the line. It was, I mean, I don't like, y'all know, man, y'all watch long enough. I don't really like to call out college players. I mean, they're trying. I mean, it's not like they're not professionals and they're trying. He's not going out there with the intention of losing games, but I really think, anyway, so you ended up getting a run back, and then you got the bases loaded with 1 out. It's second and third with 1 out. They intentionally walked Pearson, which was absolutely the right move with the base open. And then that set up the righty-righty matchup with Tiger and Thompson. And all Thompson needs to do with 1 out is put the ball in the air. Put the ball in the air to the outfield, and you got a tie game. Just put bases loaded, 1 out. Just put the ball in the air, and you got a tie ball game. And he rolls it. It was a great strategic move by Dave Van Horn. They intentionally walk Pearson to load the bases, force it any base. And you're hoping they could get Jordan Thompson to roll over one, and he did. So, double play, ended the inning, and Tigers tried to get a little bit of a threat. Stevenson got on base. Beautiful at bat, by the way, with 2 outs. I mean, 2 outs and had an 0-2 count, and battled back and got a base hit on a 2-2. Fouled off some pitches, tough AB. Such a good. So anyway, can't give a good team like Arkansas 6 outs in an inning. You can't. They're too good. Like you can't go on the road to a place like that against a team like that and give them 6 outs in an inning or 4 outs in the first. I mean, just then your pitch count gets elevated and pitchers are now in super high leverage situations. And anyway, just a bummer. So Tigers dropped game one, but all's not lost. It's so disappointing because last Friday you kind of stole one, right? You were down to your last strike. You're down to your last strike, and you rally to get one, and you kind of gave it back last night. So really disappointing. There were some positives, I thought. Hilliard battled through some tough situations to give you 5 innings of 2-run baseball. I can live with that. I thought the defensive play in the outfield was really good from Stevenson, Cruz, and Pearson. I mean, there were a couple of balls that were well hit, and LSU's outfield tracked them down. I mean, there were 2 plays one that Cruz and Stevenson each made with their back against the wall. So I really think that defensively you've solidified your outfield. As I mentioned, some really good ABs by Pearson and Stevenson. They continue to impress. But your bullpen was good. I mean, your bullpen was good. The defense behind them was not, and that's the problem when you have contact pitchers. You got to be solid behind them defensively, and LSU just wasn't yesterday. So anyway, disappointing. Come back. Hopefully Blake Money gives you a really good start tonight. You're going up against a freshman lefty, a good pitcher, but lefties have given LSU trouble. So Jay Johnson did say after the game that this is his lineup. These are the guys he's sticking with, so I don't suspect we'll see changes. I do think McManus will catch one game this weekend. I don't know if it'll be tonight or if it'll be tomorrow, but I do suspect we'll see McManus catch for Travinsky at least once. And I guess I'll keep rolling with Thompson at short. A lot of people ask, why won't he make a change? I don't know what option you have, man. You've already tried moving Doty to short. That didn't work. You started Cranford against Grambling, and he kicked a few. I mean, some people have suggested Jack Merrifield. Merrifield was a second baseman at LSU last year. Could he slide over and play short? Maybe, but I don't know. Some of y'all have mentioned Drew Bianco, which is an absurd idea. Please stop with that. So I don't know. I don't think you have a great option. That's the problem. If you had a great option, you'd do it. You don't have a great option. When Milazzo comes back, he's a great option defensively. He's your catcher immediately if and when he comes back. It's funny too that a lot of the people who are crapping on me about the Milazzo take, they're all of a sudden really quiet. My Twitter mentions aren't flooded with that anymore. Because, again, Travinsky hasn't hit now for 2 weeks. And that's not hit. It's just part of baseball. Every single hitter in the history of baseball goes through slumps. They have stretches where they don't swing it good. That's fine. That's fine. But as long as you're giving me something on the other side, which he's not, he's a liability defensively. That's my point about Milazzo. Milazzo, if you just hit 220, okay, hit 200, I don't care, but be elite defensively. I mean, Travinsky last night was having trouble catching the ball. Like, just you're never going to get a called strike from an umpire if the catcher can't do the thing that the name of his position literally describes. Anyway, all right, doing all this on my phone. So, if you're just joining, thanks for being here. Smash the like button. I have no internet in the house. I'm just doing this on my phone, on the data on my phone. So, I just shared this link on Facebook, so if you know someone who's normally watching that isn't, you can let them know. We're here. Hunter Fournette, what's up? Merrick Mathern, Alex Day, morning Matt. Last night was one of the more disappointing losses in the season. Yeah, said hopefully Thompson could flush it. Hunter Fournette, Travinsky's a travesty behind the plate, which is what I've been telling y'all for how long now? Like that's, but I get it. Like when he's slugging homers against Florida, it's all good. But when you go 2 weeks without a hit, it's a problem. I mean, Joe Bear's in the same boat right now. Joe Bear ain't got a hit, it feels like, in 2 weeks. I mean, a lot of swing and miss. Last weekend, he pulled everything right into the shift. Hit a couple balls hard, but I mean, he's got to become a more disciplined, more well-rounded hitter. You can't just balls right at defenders in the shift. Need more than that. Aaron Fontaine, Stephen Fry, good morning. Wendell Norman. Morning, Matt, LSU Tiger fan living in Chattanooga. Hilarious AFR yesterday laughing at Tennessee baseball. Love it. I mean, I wasn't so much laughing at Tennessee baseball when, okay, so I was actually. I was with Scott Kushner. I was laughing at Tennessee. But when we did, that's right, yesterday we did. I did laugh at Tennessee with Scott Kushner. But Scott and I had that relationship. So Scott is the Pelicans beat writer for The Advocate, and came on the show, but he also went to Tennessee. And Tennessee fans are just so jilted right now because they've been so bad and everything for so long that they just expect bad things to happen now. It's been a really tough decade for Tennessee athletics. Like they just haven't really figured it out in anything. And so I was just I'm like, so anyway, I made fun of them about the Tennessee Tech thing. You know, they wanted to hit with wooden bats, so they played a wooden bat game, and like they scored 2 runs. This after like they got popped for having juiced bats, and anyway. It was pretty funny. All right. AJ Holland, try not do your LSU, not BRCC. I don't know what that means, AJ. Jesse Brown, morning Matt from the aquarium in Atlanta. All right, Jesse. Arkansas isn't that great. Arkansas is a really good team. They're the best defensive team in the SEC, and it showed. I mean, Moore made 2 plays at second base that changed the game. One, he stole a hit from, I think it was Joe Bear, on the outfield grass. Beautiful play, range into his left, and then making an off-balance throw. And then he turned the double play on Jordan Thompson. I mean, they are that good. Connor Nolan had a no-hitter through 5 innings. And then LSU broke through. LSU's lineup is really good, too. So, I mean, you can only keep them down for so long. But I haven't tweeted last night. You're probably going to get a couple of rallies. I mean, that's typically how it goes, like in major league games. When you face really good pitchers, you typically have 2 rallies in you. Like 2 times in the game when you're going to have a little bit of an uprising. And when you do, you need to capitalize. And that's what happened last night. LSU had a rally in the 3rd and then in the 7th. I mean, you got to maximize. You got to maximize whenever you have those opportunities. And they didn't last night, unfortunately. Let's see. Hopefully their clothes are burned for the weekend. No, Tiger's not burned for the weekend. Merrick Mathern, is Morgan hurt? Yeah, so last week, the opening, I don't know if you remember, but it was he was the first batter of the weekend. He was trying to leg out a single, and he kind of lunged for the base. And he kind of kicked it and landed awkwardly and stayed down for a while, and he just kind of limped around last weekend. So he's definitely not 100%. Jesse Post, good morning. Let's see, Merrick, what's the status on Milazzo? Still not ready. I don't know. Colton Mack, morning Matt. Jay Johnson said Thompson is our only option, or his misses fixable at this point. Yeah, it's like that's the thing, Colton. Like last year, Jordan Thompson was solid at shortstop. He wasn't great, but you saw the tools. He's got the range, which clearly he still does. He gets to a lot of baseballs that some defenders wouldn't get to. And he's got the best arm on the team. But it feels right now like it's squarely between his ears. Like the play he made when they were trying to turn the double play was just, it wasn't a physical error, it was a mental error. you're a shortstop and you're trying to turn two. Your momentum needs to be going toward the bag. So when you catch the ball, you're moving toward the base with the throw. He was off balance and wide. Like, I mean, the throw home, I mean, yes, it's a physical mistake throwing up the baseline, but he's got the best arm on the team. Like, set your feet and make a throw, man. Like, that at that point is just, it's just mental. Like, everything is hurried. He just needs to slow down and take a breath and like just make the plays he can make. Let's see, Hunter, someone on the field, I'm assuming Cruz needs to tip Thompson a new one because no one's getting through to the kid. Tim Gotro, Larry Garner, good morning. That was a screwed up ball game last night. Hunter Darby was at the game last night. Stravinsky couldn't frame a pitch. He couldn't frame a pitch, couldn't block a pitch, couldn't catch a pitch. I mean, y'all, you know, like what I do professionally, I know enough guys that pitched not only at LSU, but also in the major leagues. Like, you don't need me to run through the list. It's a long list. Some of them watch this show. Are livid when a catcher drops a pitch because you're never getting that call. And it happened twice last night where LSU pitchers threw strikes, but the catcher didn't do the thing his position literally describes. Just catch the ball. You're never getting a call if the catcher drops the ball. Happened twice last night. And that's not even counting the pass balls. Yes, it's very bad. And like when your margins are so slim because your defense behind you is a liability, you need those calls. Like, you can't afford a pass ball that allows runners to move up 90 feet. That's what happened in the A&M series, where pass ball allowed runners to get to second and third, and Luke Hancock went the left way, or went the other way. Or that was, I'm sorry, that was not Mississippi State last week on Friday, when State got their 2-run breakthrough and Hancock went the other way against the shift. You had runners on second and third because of a pass ball. Like, it completely changes how you pitch because you got now a runner on third. If one does go wild, a run scores. You know, you're not as willing to bury a breaking ball. I know I say this all the time, but Alex Lang's best pitch was that when he would snap off that breaking ball, like that was his out pitch. He got so many guys to swing over the top of that because he knew he could throw it. He could throw it 59 feet, and Mike Papierski was just a brick wall. He'd block up everything. I mean, he was so valuable. It didn't matter that Papierski hit 210. It just didn't matter. Like, he controlled the running game. I mean, how about last night when Arkansas has a straight steal and Stravinsky's 5 feet wide of the bag to the right? Like, even the commentators are like, "Oh, better throw, would have nailed him." Anyway. But when all you see is, "Oh, he slogs homers," like, you miss the critical part. Garner, morning, Matt. I don't think we would have lost the game if we would have let Riley finish the inning. I don't know about that, Glenn. Listen, it's really hard to go that route because, and I don't have the box score in front of me. I'm trying to remember. I think they went from Cooper to Fontenot, if I'm not mistaken. And I love that decision because Fontenot's the one that got the ground ball you needed. He got the ground ball you needed, and you could make a play. So, anyway. Look, I mean, this pitching staff pushed all the right buttons last week. And I think they did last night as well. I think they had the right guys on the mound in the right situations. And your pitchers made the right pitches. You didn't play defense behind them. I mean, you did not give up an extra base hit in that game. I mean, think about that. You did not give up an extra base hit in that game. Your defense let you down, man. That's all there is to it. Get back out there and be better today. Hunter Darby, what's up? Apollo Balboa, how far do the Pelicans go in the playoffs? I hate to say it, man. I think they lose tonight. I know that they did beat the Clippers 3 out of 4 this year. The most recent game out in LA. They lost on that West Coast road swing. But I think the same reason why home court was so valuable for the Pels the other night and for Minnesota the other night, I think it is for the Clippers tonight as well. I just don't love this matchup. So I think the Pels lose tonight. I would love it if they win. I mean, listen, if they win, they're probably getting swept by the Suns. Maybe they can take one off of them, but the Suns are too good, and they're beating either the Pels or the Clippers, whoever wins tonight. I would love it for New Orleans to get in and to be able to taste a best of seven for this young team to be in the playoffs, to have something against which to measure, and that would be great. I would love to see it. I'm not so sure that I understand why the Clippers are favored tonight. Can the Pels win tonight? Absolutely. Probably like the Clippers to win. But let's see. Roll it out there. Let's go play 48 minutes and see how it goes. No Saint, good morning. Seth Rushing, Matt, is T-Bob your best friend? No, T-Bob is not my best friend. Brian Wynn, good morning, Matt. Any Chuck sittings? I guess that's sightings. I have not seen Chuck Sanchez here today. Otherwise, I would have gone, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? But no, I've not seen Chuck this morning. Glenn Garner, Telly Rock, I have made enough wax to make y'all's house smell great for 2 years. Care package is coming. I will tell her. I will tell her. Joseph Armato, good morning. Merrick Mathern, can they teach Thompson to hit against the shift? So, Merrick, it's not just Thompson. I mean, Joe Bear's the same. Barry's the same. Boy, and Barry last night, y'all. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. In the seventh, Barry. Oh, God. Now, it's the play. It was the pop-up, right? The pop-up that Arkansas let fall. Y'all, Jacob Barry, if he is an inch higher on that baseball, he hits that about 450 feet. I mean, he was on it. I mean, he was right on that pitch, and he just got under it by that much. I mean, if he is that much higher on the baseball, you get more of a launch angle instead of a pop up. If he is that much higher, that is gone, and LSU got a 3-run homer. Oh, that one was sick. Like off the bat, I was like, like I was standing in the den. I yelled. He just barely got under it, man. That one stinks. Trivia, what's good, man? TJ Alford, good morning. Yeah, LSU got another 4-star commitment today. Like literally as I was starting, I retweeted it. I'd love to tell you his name and more about him, but again, I don't have internet because our internet's been down since last night. Anybody else having that issue? I wonder if it's like our... I don't know what's up with that. Maybe need to call them and have them do a hard reset from where they are, but I've done all the things you need to reset it. Anyway. I will say Fontenot had the slider working. I'll tell you, Hunter, I mean, I thought that when they went to the bullpen and got Riley Cooper, I thought they were going to bring in Fontenot there because Fontenot, now Cooper got out of it. He got a strikeout and they got a ground out. But I thought they were going to go get Fontenot at that point because Fontenot has that fastball that sinks on it, that has good sink on his fastball, which induces a lot of ground balls. Guys swing over the top of it. And I thought ground ball double play, they were going to get Fontenot. They got Cooper in there, and Cooper finished off that inning, was great. Came out the next inning, obviously a couple of guys to get on. Defense didn't help him, but we all know the story by now. Angel Flores or Angel Flores, I'm not exactly sure. Good morning, Matt, Notre Dame alumni here. Love your show. Can you comment on Coach O in Notre Dame and last comments of Coach Kelly on Notre Dame? I will. You're probably not going to love my comments. So I've talked about this a bunch, actually. And for context, like I lived in South Bend for a year. I went to Holy Cross. My brother went to Notre Dame, so spent a lot of time in South Bend. Like I know a lot about the university, and I've explained this to a lot of fans here where, Notre Dame is it's a special place that is very different. I used to call it the bubble. because if you're a student at Notre Dame, you literally don't have to leave campus for 4 years. They have everything on campus that you would ever need. You could live in your dorm, your dining hall, you have the rec center. They've got I forgot what they call the student union. It was just down from the cathedral or the basilica. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, I mean, which has like a grocery in it. You never have to leave. Like, you never have to leave campus, and a lot don't, because a lot of a lot of students aren't from Notre Dame, so a lot don't have a vehicle to even leave campus. Students have to live on campus for the first 3 years before you have the option of moving off campus. And a lot of them stay in their dorm for all 4 years, and there are no athletic dorms. So, like, if you're a 5-star linebacker and you enroll at Notre Dame, you could be rooming with a physics major from Seattle. Like, that's just how it goes. And Notre Dame values that, and that's great. That's fine. I'm not in any way saying that's a wrong thing. There's smaller enrollment, high academic standards, all that stuff. And all that's fine. All that is fine and great, and it's the culture they built, and it's all that's wonderful for them. The problem is that doesn't play in major college football today if you're trying to win national championships. You can't get the 5-star quarterback or running back or linebacker if you can't relax some of your academic requirements. And if you don't want to, okay, that's fine. That's the standard you have. Okay, then you are voluntarily shrinking your recruiting pool. And then there's going to be some guys who come to campus and they see that they're going to live in a crappy dorm that's a building that's 70 years old, and they're going to be sleeping in a bed that they put in a loft just so they have floor space. And they don't have a nutrition center, and then they come to LSU and you're in West Campus Apartments and you go see football ops, and every player has their own first-class airplane pod, and then you've got your own chef with this gigantic palatial dining hall with anything in the world you could possibly want to eat. And it's just a different reality. It's a completely different reality. So if you're Notre Dame, you're never going to be able to put together a roster 1 to 85 that looks like Bama or Georgia or Clemson or LSU. You understand? Because you are voluntarily shallowing out the pool of candidates that you could choose from, and you're just not going to be able to. The state of Indiana is not a talent-rich state. You've got to fly all over the country to put your recruiting class together. So Brian Kelly's a great coach, man, and he was able to put these systems in place that allowed him to win a lot of games over a long period of time. But every time Notre Dame would come up against Bama or Georgia or whatever in the playoff, they get run out of the building, because when you get to that level, you're not able to compete. And then on top of it, not being in a conference hurts you. And some say, well, they don't have to play a conference championship game. That would have helped them this year. If Notre Dame had a conference championship game this year, when everybody else was playing championship weekend and they were sitting and waiting, had they had a conference championship game they could win, that could have effectively been a de facto play-in. Like, what if they played Pitt in the ACC championship game, won it? Then you have a much better argument to be in. But you didn't, so they weren't. And so Brian Kelly tried to get some of that stuff fixed. I think you realize there's a glass ceiling there. And Notre Dame fans get upset about that because they value their culture so much, and the history and tradition of the university, and all that's great and true. But those are the things that are Notre Dame's hindrance. And you could point at Brian Kelly and be pissed, but the reality is, man, it's been 35 years since you've won a national championship, and you haven't been close. It's been 35 years, 1988, 5 different coaches have come through and none has been able to do it. At what point do you stop looking at the coach and saying it's you, and you start looking in the mirror and saying, no, it's us? Like, Notre Dame has got to be, if they want to win championships again, like national championships, you've got to be willing to change. But I think as a university, they value the things that make them unique way more than they do winning championships. And so they're never going to. It's why Notre Dame doesn't win anything. Jordan Thompson, the Traquan Smith of LSU baseball. Here's the difference. Traquan Smith is a professional athlete who's getting paid, who's trying to earn dollars in contracts. Jordan Thompson's a sophomore in college. Shelby, it's so frustrating to argue baseball with people that don't understand what they're looking at compared to what they should be looking for. I don't envy you when it comes to this time of year. Thank you, Shelby. It is very frustrating. And I know that comes across sort of like as a baseball snobby elitist, but it is a true comment. Like, there's a lot of people that don't watch a ton of baseball and don't know exactly. Like, they don't know what they should be looking for in those situations. Like, I mean, the Travinsky Milazzo thing is a case in point. You'll have people say, "Well, you have to be able to hit, throw, in." No, you don't. Like, I mean, there are players in Major League Baseball that hit sub 200, but they're elite at their position. It's a premium position, so they play because you have to have that because there's value in that. But yes, thank you, Shelby. It's good to know that I'm not alone in this world. Shane Michael, what's up? Trevi, did you show you rocked the Ferris wheel? No, I did not, and I won't. Seth Rushing, T-Bob is the best. Come on now. T-Bob is not the best. T-Bob has some redeeming qualities. I think he's a genuinely good person that cares about other people. He is a good husband and father. He is, however, an annoying oaf. And yes, that's the extent of my T-Bob comments. And us together for some reason, well, I get why. I mean, it's the Chris Farley, David Spade dynamic. People think it's hilarious. So we keep doing stuff together that people keep watching and consuming. And so then businesses keep sponsoring it and wanting us to do more of it. And so we keep making money, so we keep doing it. I mean, from pregame and then whiskey and wine and now scone and tea. And we got, yesterday had a great meeting. By the way, it's set. Draft party, if y'all haven't heard yet, 2 weeks from yesterday at Don Juan Cigar Bar. So we're gonna be doing our companion show, and we are working an option for house sound, so that if you come to the draft party at Don Juan, you will be able to hear our show. We are working on that option. So because we don't want people to be discouraged and not come because they're not able to hear us. So y'all come hang out at Don Juan again 2 weeks from yesterday, the 28th, for the first round of the draft. Our whole staff will be out there doing the show, the companion show throughout the draft. They're at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Brian Wynn, Matt, does Bianco have any role on this team? No. Weston Weaver, yeah, man. Ryan Yates, there it is. Thank you. The 4-star out of Denton, Texas. Glenn Garner, I've been missing you live because of work. Still watch every day. Can we get a hustle? I can't, Glenn, because, well, hang on. I can do that, actually. Shout out to Brock, y'all. brortho.com, of course. If you need need an orthopedist, call Brock. Need a roof, call Hudco. All right, here we go. I can play this for you. Hang on. Here we go. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Oh, are we good now? Hey, we've got internet again. Yay, that made me happy. Eric Wilder thought the announcers last night brought up an interesting point that it doesn't seem like we pitch to batters in a manner that complements the shift we're in. Thoughts? So, by the way, I thought last week's announcers from Mississippi State were very good, and last night's announcers from Arkansas were even better. I don't know who they are, but they were really good. I just it's enjoyable to listen to a game when people know the game and what they're looking for and strategy and situational awareness, and you're not just getting a gigantic homer broadcast, which it's not supposed to be on SEC Network. Of course, it's going to lean to Arkansas. I mean, there are it's same if it was Lynn Rollins and Ben McDonald, and you could pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. You're going to get that, but it's supposed to be a more neutral broadcast because it's on the SEC Network Plus. But anyway. Those guys were very good last night. I really enjoyed listening to them call the game. The one thing that annoyed me was them talking about Raiselman's toe taps. Like, I'm afraid now we are going to hear that every game. I told Raiselman that this week when he was on AFR. I said, bro, everywhere you go now, they're going to count your toe taps. But now we're going to have to listen to that on every broadcast. Like Antoine Duplantis, his brother is a pole vaulter, and Kramer's mom is Kim Mulkey, and all. It's going to be that. Like, that's going to be the next thing is Raiselman's toe taps. That's going to be on every broadcast. Glenn Garner. Oh, by the way, to your point, though, about pitching to the shift. No, that's a good point. But Eric, the problem is they're college pitchers. I mean, sometimes fans will watch college baseball and you'll see an umpire with a wide strike zone. That happened last week. It's because they're college pitchers. You are going to get a wider strike zone. Just like when I go watch my 11-year-old nephew play baseball, they give those kids, a wider strike zone because they're 12, right? Same with college. Like, their accuracy isn't as refined as professional pitchers. So you're going to get a little bit of a wider zone sometimes, which I'm fine with that. Just call it consistently. But that's the problem. Like, ideally, do you want to pitch to your defense? Of course you want to pitch to your defense. Sometimes you miss, right? So catcher sets up low and away, and you put it middle in. Like, sometimes that happens just because it's college pitchers. Like, if you really want an education in that, watch where the catcher sets up and then watch where the pitch goes on every play, and you will see, and then do the same watching a major league game, and you'll notice the difference immediately. Let's see, Glenn Garner. Tried turning you on to my buddy that's an ND fan. Kelly was his trash. Now he's our treasure. Oof. Cody Boudreaux, morning, Matt. Tough loss. It was. Shelby, part of... Okay, yeah. Well, there you go. Shelby said the same thing to Eric. Pitcher has to execute pitch. Casey Smith, any new game coin news? Absolutely, man. We lost internet again. So I think it was Casey. Casey, I know everybody's antsy. Trust me, no one's more antsy than us right now because, so every Tuesday we have a board meeting where we look at the wireframes and everything that's being built and as it's coming along. And actually, David and I don't know what you call him, our chief development officer or whatever, maybe, who lives out in Vegas. They talk literally every day with the developer who's building it all out, and the company Sarah Technologies is building out smart contract. They're literally talking twice a day, every day. And the progress has been awesome. Like, so we get to see it every week. And it's incredible to see it coming to life. But it's just not something you can rush. And we don't want to put a launch date because we did that once before with 2.0 and we didn't hit the date, which happens. I mean, there are unforeseen delays that happen. So it's really just a thing where we're going to make sure, really, really sure, that it's completely done. Time this summer, we will be live and fully operational. So, like, we could probably launch the NFT portion now. We're just not. We're going to make sure that we are ready to roll. So, it's coming. The interest from massive high-level investors in the crypto space and otherwise is real and exciting. And yeah, It's coming, man. Just be patient. Like have a 10,000 foot view instead of a 10 foot view. Like pull back and realize like you can, even if it's like GameCoin itself isn't even a year old yet. It won't be a year until July. So the fact that platform will be built by then, and we've already been to 4 cents and back. It's exciting, man. And then continuously doing more deals, ambassador athletes, and it's fun. Yeah, man, we're coming. Merrick, I was hoping for 9 toe taps. Yeah, so we talked to Raisman on air last week. Say, look, if you give us 9, we know it's for AFR. Bob Simo, shout out to Joe Morales, HUDCO team. Got my family's roof metairie done all via email. Looks great. Thanks for lining me up. You got it, Bob. Thank you for trusting us, Joe. Joe is a rock star, no doubt. You need a roof? You know the drill, y'all. Holler at us at HUDCO. Holler at HUDCO, HUDCOroofing.com. Hunter was calling breaking balls for strikes, top of guys' cleats. It depends where it crosses the plate, not where it lands. And sometimes you have a sweeping breaking ball that comes across the plate. It happens. Greg T, Arkansas is a fan of every LSU batter during their AB over and over. Dylan, no, I did not listen to the LSU broadcast. I watched the TV broadcast. I'm not sure if I should admit this, but Larry Gardner is my dad. That's cool. What's wrong with that? We got the family Garner here. Is Larry here today? I'm scrolling back to see. I don't know if I see Glenn. Oh, there's Larry. All right. We got father and son here today. That's awesome. Larry and Glenn. Poor Glenn. All right, y'all. I think we're just about done. Thanks as always for watching. Do me a solid, smash that like button. AFR today. It's Good Friday. Nobody else is working. Erica's off. Drew's off, so I didn't have to get up and get him out to school today. So I'm gonna do some work from home this morning, and then get in and do the show this afternoon. So LSU Daily obviously will be probably around noon or a little later when I get that published today. So LSU Daily, and then AFR3 Terrio is in today. So looking forward to that as always. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Remember, Brock, HUDCO, we appreciate y'all so much. Have a great day. Peace.